Okay, we're recording. Hello, and welcome to this bonus episode of Beast Fables, a role-playing game show that follows the lives of tiny beasts in a giant world. I'm Brian, and I am the narrator of Beast Fables. I use he/him pronouns. I'm the founder of Dungeons on a Dime, and I'm always looking to promote young folks like myself in creative industries. I'm joined today by Fraser. Fraser, could you please introduce yourself for our lovely audience?
Hello, I am Fraser. I am an illustrator and designer who uses he, him pronouns also. I work with Brian on Dungeons on a Dime and various other little projects and things related to that. Yeah, that's me. I play Dungeons and Dragons and TTRPGs and stuff. And yeah, Beast Fables has been a fun little thing that I've been keeping track with.
Yes. In fact, you're going to be guesting on the show very soon.
Yes.
But before we dive into that, have you got anything you want to shout out and tell us about?
Not for myself at the but one of my good friends, Katie Gillen, has just released her demo of Date of the Dead, which is a dating simulator for dating monsters. So if you like monsters and dating sims, it's a one-woman project. She is amazing. She's just churned this out. This was her grad project, or her degree show project, which she's now finalizing and
I remember playing it at the degree show.
Yes, so she's just it's all been upgraded by 110%. She's working so hard on it right now. So definitely go and check it out. The Instagram is Date of the Dead. Pretty simple. But yeah, go and check it out and give her some love.
She did a bookmark for the In the Red Kickstarter, which Fraser can't see because I have my camera on for him in the call. But it's really cool. It's a barbarian smashing into a paladin's shield. It's really badass and it's beautiful.
Yeah. Yes, it's very good. So yeah, so that's that. That's all I have to shout out.
Cool. In today's bonus episode, we're going to be making and drawing. I'm going to be making, you're going to be drawing the character of Lutzen Ten Whiskers, a rat from the Craftpaw Guild who'll be showing up very soon in the main story. We're playing with the Adventures on a Dime system, a role-playing game designed to tell exciting stories with simple rules. You can download these rules for free from doad.co.uk and use the fully automated character sheet with our sponsor, Roll20. And when this episode airs, because we're pre-recording it, and then we're going to post it up later, the entire Adventures on a Dime system will be available for free natively inside Roll20. It's launching this Wednesday. I say my Wednesday, so in 2 days, which is cool. But for you guys watching at home, it'll all have been launched, so you can get all of the rules, both as handouts as well as a playmat in the Roll20 browser. You can get it for free on the marketplace, and there's going to be some cool extra Adventures on a Dime adventures coming soon to the marketplace that Fraser and I will be designing. And speaking of fully automated character sheets on Roll20, Roll20 is an easy-to-use virtual tabletop platform. It's basically the Zoom of board games. You can see people, you can play on it. It's where we're making our character today. They sponsor the show, which is why I like to speak so fondly of them. You can make free accounts, you can roll dice, you can keep track of your campaigns, and you can get digital adventures by yours truly as well. Roll20 is awesome. We love them forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Hooray. Snaps for Roll20.
Claps all around.
But bringing it back in, we have got Fraser, who is Lutzen Ten Whiskers.
Yes.
So, I believe this is your first time making a character with the Adventures on a Dime system.
It is indeed. I've watched the interlude with Ver and playing Greer or building Greer, which I am obsessed with. But yeah, that's the only intro I've done for how the character creation works. But I'm into it. I need to know more. I want to do more.
So it's super simple. I'll walk you through it.
Yeah.
Bit by bit. The first thing we need to decide with your character, there are 3 stats which sum up an adventurer, as they're called in the system. For this, it's going to be summing up what the strengths and weaknesses of Lutzen are. So the 3 stats are Cunning, Vigor, and Willpower. Whenever you need to do anything, as you've seen on the stream, you have to roll a die. You need to roll 4 or more to succeed at whatever you want to try and do. Rolling a 2 or a 3 is a complication, so you succeed, but there's some extra element that complicates the story. And then a 1 is a hijinks, where you have some very unintended consequences to the action you try to take. When deciding your character, you have your what are called base die. You can change the size of the die that you use for your character to anywhere ranging from a d4 to a d12. So the bigger your die, the more likely it is you're going to roll over 4. So bigger is better. And each of the different stats have little keywords that help you roleplay as Lutzen, depending on the size of the die you use. So if you have d4s, for example, you are foolish, frail, and fearful. If you have d12s, you are devious, enduring, and heroic.
Okay.
Now, the rule for picking the size of your die is that the dice have to add up to 24.
Okay.
So that could be 8, 8, and 8, which is your average adventurer. They are resourceful, fit, and confident, and 3 8s is 24. At least in my head it is.
Yes, I think it checks out. To the best of my abilities.
Asking me to do math is dangerous.
Yes. You know what? It's fine. We'll say it works.
So, how good do you think? In fact, I'll read you the descriptions of the traits as well.
Cool. Okay.
Help. Get the rules up on my tablet device.
Okay.
Because I would get them up on Roll20, but I don't actually have that game loaded right now because we're in the Beast Fables game, which is slightly different. I should probably, when it's uploaded to the marketplace, I'll then be able to download it into this game, and then we'll have everything ready on the stream to play.
That's so funny that you, the creator, do not have access to the thing you created. It's quite funny.
Well, actually, I mean, I did create it, but Roll20 got graphic designers to make it all fancy and native on the roll of the 20. So it was one of the things I didn't do this time.
Yeah, I'm so impressed with it's scalable. I'm moving it around my screen to try and get this sorted so I can see it all.
The character sheet's cool. That was coded by Wes Baker. I did commission him. He gave me a very, 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 very nice rate for this. And he's a really cool dude. But the splash screen and all the rules and stuff, Roll20 sorted out, and that was nice to do that. But anyway, adventures online. Cunning adventurers are intelligent and sly. They are aware of their surroundings, think quickly on their feet, and speak with a silver tongue. Vigorous adventurers can endure any adversity. They can easily run long distances, hold their own in a fight, and work diligently at any task. Willful adventurers have the confidence to face any threat. They are passionate leaders, confidently in touch with their emotions, and fearless heroes no matter the odds.
Okay.
So those are the 3 stats.
Right. So I think he's definitely more cunning than he is vigorous. So I think I would want to drop his vigor down a bit and probably put his cunning and willpower up, I would imagine. So maybe up and down 1 step? Or no, I don't think I don't know if he's cunning. What's hold on. I'm just going to fiddle with it and see what the words say, because the words are really good for describing how they
cunning, are. I'll go through all of them. There's a table in the rules. For cunning, it goes from 4 to 12. So they are foolish, cautious, resourceful, sly, and devious. For vigor, they are frail, healthy, fit, hardy, and enduring. And then for willpower, they are fearful, present, confident, charismatic, and courageous. I think it's heroic on the sheet because this is a slightly older version.
Right. Okay, so I think for willpower, he's definitely charismatic, for sure. We've kind of discussed a little bit of how the character plays, or his kind of personality, and I think he's definitely a bit scatterbrained, definitely more kind of charismatic and easily distracted. So I think that's he could talk endlessly for days about the things he's been tinkering with and playing with. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like he's maybe not so. Yeah, I don't know if he's so vigorous. I think he might be more frail. But I'd be open to your interpretation also.
So that would mean to make him frail, he would have to be sly. You'd have to have a D10, or you'd bump up the charismatic to 12. So he'd be courageous. Or heroic, as it says there. I feel like he'd be healthy.
Yeah.
I don't think he's frail. I don't think he's necessarily weak, because he is a mechanic.
Yeah. This is true. I think resourceful, healthy, and charismatic matches him. I think healthy more than resourceful, because just healthy fits him, because it's like, he's not blown off all of his whiskers yet. But he's still standing, he doesn't have as many as he did, but he's still standing. He's okay.
Yeah.
So I think that fits him. Yeah, I think I'm into that.
Awesome. So your base die size rarely change, and they're referenced throughout the rules. For example, when you rest. You also have your current die size. This can change throughout the game. So if you drink a magic potion that makes you stronger, it could increase the size of your vigor, for example. Or if you take damage, someone says some really mean things to you, it could hurt your willpower. And then you've got these buttons down here. You can click them, and then bang. Ooh. I'm just going to move the character sheet for a sec. You get a number, and it rolls it for you, and it can even show the results to you in the chat log. So that will say 2, and then it will tell you that you've got a complication and things happened.
Awesome.
So yeah, you are Lutzen Ten Whiskers. You are resourceful, healthy, and charismatic.
Nice.
The next thing we're going to work on are your jobs. So jobs are a big part of adventurers. All adventurers have day jobs. The first job is what they did before they became an adventurer, and then subsequent jobs are things that they have picked up, roles they've picked up as they've been going on quests, doing fun adventures, and exploring and learning. So I'd say, how many jobs do you think Lutzen has? So one job is they're not an adventurer yet. That's everything they did before they were an adventurer. 2 jobs is they're a basic adventurer. 3 jobs is they're kind of really getting into it. Greer, for example, who is in the interlude, a sort of small part of the story that turns away from the main characters Balthazar and Pipistrel for a little bit. Greer has 3 jobs, and also you'll be getting some rat features as well as a rat outside of your jobs. But Greer has 3 jobs.
Yeah, I think in terms of, either just the 1 or maybe 2. And definitely two at most, I think.
So what do you think the first job? Well, let's kind of if your second job is engineer or something like that, Craftpaw engineer. What would your first job be before you were an engineer?
Craftpaw thing. I'm going to add that in. Oh my god, if I can spell.
Well,
I don't even trust myself to spell.
I wouldn't add it in because we can add another job in, the magic. So
I've done that. I've added another one in.
Oh, mystery.
So we have Craftpaw engineer as job 2. So job 1, I don't know. I feel. Because we kind of discussed a little bit of his backstory, or his kind of a little bit of his background of just being kind of, a bit scatterbrained, kind of out on doing his own little thing. Was there not an apprentice? Was he maybe an apprentice of some sort, perhaps?
Well, he could be an apprentice engineer.
Yeah, I feel like he would he? Oh my goodness, maybe it would have been an apprentice first, and then moved on to his own kind of engineering, but maybe more being not thrown out, but you're being a pest, and you just keep blowing things up. So
I like the idea that he was an apprentice, and then they graduated him early, so that he wouldn't be there anymore. You go do something else.
Yes, I'm imagining very much. I'm channeling. Oh my god, from Atlantis. Milo a little bit from Atlantis, of kind of how he's just scatterbrained all over the place, but just very just pure, very pure. Pure. But just a bit scatterbrained all over the place. Yeah, unfiltered. He's just he's motivated by what he needs, and that's him. He's just ready to go.
And to be honest, with all the things he's been experimenting with, he's probably full of minerals as well.
Yes, very so. Very so.
So an apprentice engineer. So when you have a job in Adventures in Time, you have 5 things that come from that job. You have 3 skills, 1 trait, and 1 flaw. So skills are normally verb-centered. They are doing things that you do on the job, things you've learned to do, and they can be as broad or as specific as you like for the job. Skills are then tagged in ability checks. So if I ask you to make a vigor check, you could say, I have this skill that's really useful. I think it's relevant to this situation. I go, oh yes, of course, and I'll give you advantage.
Okay, cool.
Traits are positive quirks that you have taken on from the job and incorporated into your personality. They're not necessarily verb-centered. They're more views on the world, opinions, experience, maybe reputations, something relevant to the job that you've brought forward that is applicable to everything you do in life. And flaws are similar, except as opposed to being positive, they're more negative.
Okay.
These are things that you have that have changed you by doing this job, or that you've taken on from doing this job, and that's not something that it can necessarily be gotten rid of. It's not something to be gotten rid of either. So, for example, it could be a reputation, it could be something people know about you, and even if it doesn't necessarily affect you negatively in the future, it's something that people are aware of. So, for example, in The Witcher, Geralt is known as the Butcher of Blaviken. I'd say that's a flaw, because no matter how people react to it, it's got inherently affected his reputation.
Yes, I see. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, I think I do like the kind of reputation thing of like, maybe he has a bit of a reputation of being a little bit full on, you know?
Because it could also be like personality traits, like as part of his apprenticeship, it really just reinforced his full-on personality.
Yes, his unfilteredness, perhaps. I don't know if that's like the right word, but just like I don't know, it's like unabashed, like pure, just what's kind of like just the all of everything.
Sums it up, because if you try to be subtle or something, I could say, the purpose of flaws is for me and traits. The purpose of flaws and traits is for me as the narrator to then give you advantage or disadvantage based on your characteristics.
Oh, excuse me.
Someone's in trouble.
Yeah. Wow. They're really going for it. Just let that pass. Cool. Yeah, I think I like
Lutzen.
that.
Lutzen's blown something up again.
It's like, oh god, he's done it again, guys. Yeah, so I like that. So for skills, I feel it's a difficult one, because I wonder if the skills are, his apprentice engineer job was basic skills, whatever they would be for animals, crafting, creating things. But I wonder if the secondary skills for engineer are like more specific to what he does, or if maybe we need to change the job of less of an engineer and more of like a quite alchemist, but just like experimental tinkerer.
I'll show you Greer's character sheet for a hot second.
Okay.
With art by Ver. Greer was an apprentice tanner and then a journeyman tanner. So as an apprentice tanner, the skills that Greer picked up on the job were maintaining equipment, organizing objects, and preservative alchemy, to show that Greer was learning all the things necessary to be a tanner, but wasn't necessarily actually being a bounty hunter at that point. Greer was handling the hides, was using the chemicals, was maintaining her master's equipment, sharpening the knives and stuff like that, and keeping everything organized, and was facilitating the actual bounty hunter tanner at doing their job. And then as a journeyman tanner, to represent that they had started taking on their own bounties, their skills were following the lines, tracking beasts, and this sort of tireless energy to hunt down their bounties.
Yes, okay, I see.
And that represents their advancement. So as opposed to the sort of like behind-the-scenes skills they got on their apprenticeship, their journeyman is all of these practical skills that they have.
Right, okay, yeah. Okay, I see what you mean, I see. So perhaps then, as an apprentice engineer, one of the skills would be maybe like recognizing resources of some sort. So being able to like identify, like, I don't know, what like resources are useful, what could be used for like glue or rope or some sort of adhesive, you know what I mean? Like being able to, like, scavenge essentially.
I think
So I don't know if
scavenge could be a
there's,
second skill. Maybe you're really good
Yeah.
at gathering things.
Yeah, because I imagine for the engineers, I say engineers in like kind of quotations, that they are more. Yeah, they're not like armorers, and if this was more of like a fancy setting, they're not like. They're just like crafting things that they would use. So they'd be crafting like the pulley system to like armor bears or whatever, or like
Yeah.
you know, because was that not something in the setup of like some of the smaller animals would be. They'd have like a mutual relationship with larger animals.
So there are smiths. They're called ore beaters, and they've got many different subsets within their very, very large guild. So you've got like the silver snouts, and you've got the copper paws and stuff like that, working with different metals and ores. I'd say the engineers have or the craft paws have a close relationship with the ore beaters. So the ore beaters might make them, say, gears, but the engineers are the ones who are drawing out which gears are needed and then fitting them together and making machines and making the pulleys and that sort of stuff. So
Right, okay.
I'd say maybe as an apprentice. So I'll say I'm going to replace identifying resources with scavenging, because I feel like that's more general and it fits the theme. Like you could say that's really good for finding resources or for like getting the right pieces together.
Yeah.
2 more skills.
So you mentioned kind of like
work.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. What do we think their or his like what do we think his niche like engineering field is, I guess?
So
because you mentioned for the story there's something about a beetle, right? A beetle car.
He's created a mechanical beetle which you can ride inside, and it rolls around on metal balls, and it's basically a coal-powered car, and it is mess of machinery. He's lost all of the notes about how he made it, but he sort of he keeps tinkering with it, and it keeps going places. So I think that might be some of his journeyman skills, is like coal craft or something.
Like power generation almost.
Who was his master before he was a journeyman?
I feel his master would have been someone that would have like introduced him to like the basics of what is it taken, or like they would have had the materials that he would have spotted and seen to like begin his own tinkering. But they wouldn't have necessarily. So like the materials for coal craft and for like the beetle shells and things like that were lying around, and maybe just one day he was like, oh, these things added together could have made this. So their master maybe was more like quite a different kind of engineer. But
what kind of stuff would they have made?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to indulge my head into the world.
Because I feel like Lutzen is sort of a bit of a genius for his time, because he's made the very first car that's ever existed, and he's kind of inventing steam power, but also he's doing it very haphazardly, and no one else really understands what he's doing. I don't think he quite understands what he's doing either.
No. So I really like that. Do you think that would possibly be a trait of some sort for his journeyman engineer? Is like ahead of his time?
I've put Coalcraft down. I think for his trait, ahead of his time.
Or kind of like, reputation precedes him kind of thing. Or if that's the right wording, I don't know. Apprentice engineer. Man, I really don't know. I'm just trying to think what other things there are in the world. I feel like it maybe would have been more like mechanical construction, like you're saying, like pulley systems and maybe more like mechanical structures that are meant to like stay solitary, not so much moving around. So like,
let's say something structural.
Yeah, like a structural engineer, yeah. And then I reckon he maybe kind of saw the potential for like ball bearings and all this kind of stuff of like, for making like a little crane, that can move, so why can't the whole crane move? I feel like that would maybe be in his like thought process of like how to get from things that just stand to then like moving mech beetle cars.
Maybe we could put like a fascination for insects.
Yeah, I like that.
Or insect lore as like his third skill, because maybe he just has like he loves beetles. And that's where he got the inspiration. He was like, I'm just going to make a beetle that isn't alive, that
Yeah.
does its own thing.
Yeah, let's put that down for just now. Scavenging, structural engineering, and beetle aficionado. Insect lore. And trait.
Because job skills don't have to be specifically verbs. They're about things you did on the job. So it can be beetle aficionado, just for people at home. I probably also spelt it wrong, but there you go. There's no spell check on this character sheet. There's no spell shaming.
So I'm thinking maybe his trait for apprentice engineer is just his curiosity. He's just like, or natural curiosity. That's kind of like what drove him to causing things to kind of blow up and making his own little experiments under his mentor as an apprentice that then got him kicked out. So I think from that,
maybe his flaw for the journeyman is then scatterbrained, or
yes, or kind of like not bad reputation, but like he is known in the Craftpaw community as being like that one that got not kicked out.
Well, maybe
he's doing his own thing.
That's part of his
ahead of his time.
His backstory, but like scatterbrained is the flaw. So like if you're trying to be organized, you're more likely to knock. You're kind of like you're making a pile of things you found, and as you turn around, your tail just knocks them all over.
Oh, absolutely.
And you're constantly like just making this pile of stuff and knocking it over and then building it again. And you're like, oh, I'm gonna get. Oh, I just found this. Oh, I found a nut that was just like this. Now I've got two, and it's the same nut.
Yeah.
Just knocked over.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I love that.
So maybe. Yeah. So what are some skills you would have had as a journeyman engineer? So you've got coalcraft, which is sort of like the making of steam-powered things. And coal.
So how does steam and fire and everything work in the Beast Fables world? How are we like?
Well, just like normal.
That was a stupid question.
Well, it's not a stupid question.
The scale of things.
So as opposed to, it's like you get a tiny steam engine. It's like a tiny little one. So like a chunk of coal. Essentially, steam works the same at any scale. It's just mini hydraulics and mini steam things.
That's so sweet.
Tiny little gouts of steam as opposed to like a massive hulking steam engine.
This is very true. And yeah, I suppose it would take less to actually move it because it's like less mass.
Yeah, so you need less coal. So ultimately, I think it scales.
Yeah, more or less. So are there like metal crafters then, or would creatures be using more natural materials than they would like crafting pistons out of like metal?
Or not pistons, I think that you might have made it out of. I think the beetle's made entirely out of metal because Lutzen wanted to emulate the beetle itself, so it's got like an oily slickness to it, like a beetle does, and it rolls around on metal balls so that it can like squish grass and other small debris and stuff like that. So it can go off-road.
Okay. I love it.
So maybe one of his skills is metal bashing. He's really good at just like shaping metal.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think probably some sort of metal crafting. Metal bashing, yeah. I feel like there needs to be his last skill is perhaps something that's not a crafty thing. Because I think shaping metal and coalcraft are quite niche for like using. But maybe like on the spontaneous construction, so he can piece things together from scavenging and then wanting to piece something together on the fly. So if he's wanting to make like a little doohickey.
Let's replace coalcraft with spontaneous construction, because I feel like the beetle was a spontaneous construction using like coal and steam and stuff. But he's not quite sure how he did it.
Yes, I think it's not very planned out per se, which fits for the kind of scatterbrained and unfiltered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like if he was a cook on BA Test Kitchen, he'd be Brad, and he's just like throwing all sorts of stuff in, and he says he's going to write it down in his book, but he never does.
Right, I need to add the rat's getting a Brad hat.
Oh god, yeah.
It's the only way. It's the only way.
It's the Leone way.
It's the.
Oh, I'm so sad that the Test Kitchen is very badly run.
Yes, the Leone way. I love it. Oh god, he just kind of looks like one of the burglars from Home Alone. A little bit now. I don't think I'm sad about it. I think I've also got, like, if we're doing like a title card like artwork, I think I know what I'm gonna draw. I think it's gonna be him like riding the metal beetle, but like it's just gonna be trundling along like through the blades of grass, and he's just gonna be like sitting on top of it, like feet out, holding on, and he's just like, what the, like, it's just going crazy.
Oh god, Mr. Bean in his sofa chair with like the strings on the driving wheels.
Absolutely that. So there's gonna be like ropes on the little, like...
You can climb inside the beetle. There is space inside the beetle for people to ride and shovel coal and stuff.
I feel like he would have been fixing something on top, and then it would have just fucking taken off.
Oh, maybe that's it. Maybe he's like fixing something on top of the beetle, and it's just started moving, and he hasn't noticed that it's moving.
Yeah. So he's gonna just like... That's just meant to be his little tongue. This is a very, very quick, like, terrible sketch, but... Yes, he's just kind of like going for it. This thing's just like taken off, and he's like, what the fuck? Yeah, we'll figure it out, but I think it just needs to be like herring along the road. Okay, I'm gonna save that as like a little thumb. I love it. Okay, perfect. Cool. So yeah, skill 3. So spontaneous construction, shaping metal. I feel like maybe... I don't know if this is maybe comes tied in with his like natural curiosity and ahead of his time, but I feel like he'd be quite... As he sees something that he thinks he could fix, he would want to fix it, or to like improve it, or like help someone. I feel like he'd be very much with his like getting distracted. That like if there was someone in need as he was passing them, he would like stop, take his time, and be like, "Oh, I know a way to fix this, or I know a way to like make this better for you." Even if it's going to make it 100 times worse.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's more of like a skill or a flaw.
Skill?
Yeah. Something... It's like something like helpfulness, like unadulterated helpfulness, or like... Like he will... Maybe it's just like there's always room for improvement. You know, something like that. Like, everything can be upgraded, or like everything can be streamlined, or something like that. So
I've got like a working document that I'm going to be putting up on the Patreon soon of Adventures on a Dime jobs examples. So like carpenter and plasterer and roofer and stuff like that. So I'm looking at some of there's architecture and construction. So architects perform complex mathematics, create precise technical drawings, and collaborate with other designers. Brick makers move heavy troughs of clay, build, maintain, and fire kilns, and negotiate prices. I'm just trying to look for a job that's similar to an engineer, I guess. Yeah. I've put down room for improvement. Total question mark. I don't know if it's a skill or if that's... skill, though. Yeah, that's more of a trait. Maybe that's... Yeah. Which I feel like ahead of his time... I don't know if ahead of his time does much as a skill. Yeah, I don't really feel I could tag that in. Unless it was like... You know, you try and come up with some sort of super, like... Yeah, I think like it describes him well, but I don't know if it does anything mechanically. Yeah, it's not a trait from his job that he carries forward to other... Yeah, because I feel like aspects. If it was, you know, you create some sort of groundbreaking technology to fix this problem, like you've got a very smart solution. It's like inspiration, I guess. Then, like, all these other skills kind of filter into that. And this is just maybe like harebrained solutions. So, like, if it's harebrained solutions. Harebrained solutions. Okay. So the idea is that if you propose a solution to a problem that shouldn't work, you actually get advantage on it. But it has to be completely outlandish. Actually, no, let's say outlandish. Outlandish solutions. I would kind of love that. Like, it's so stupid that it shouldn't work, but it might. Yeah, and somehow you make it work. And it's not consistent. So if you do it a second time, it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, because you've already done it once and it shouldn't have worked, but it did. It's like you couldn't attempt that again if you tried, kind of thing. That kind of saying.
Yeah.
Like, you can't write this.
Like beginner's luck.
Absolutely beginner's luck. Yeah. I love that. Okay, I'm into that.
So we've got a third skill. So maybe something physical, like carrying things, or
Well, I guess rats are not. Are rats hoarders? What if he has, like, not quite component pouch, but like, he has like a little pack of
that'd be
things that he's collected.
That's something we get to in a second. So
okay.
I'd hold on to that thought. Maybe he's just got an eye for detail.
Yeah.
Like good at working on a small scale.
Yeah. Because that could, I suppose, then be like, if you're looking out for something very small and specific, like how does this thing work? He'd be able to probably figure it out. Or would he? Because that doesn't kind of go against his.
Well, like, he's good at scavenging things and getting things together, but the eye for details is more like working on small scales, or manipulating tiny things, noticing things. Because he's not dumb, he's not inactive, he's just all over the place.
So it's not so much figuring out how something will work, because he's no idea how most things works, but he can identify details.
Well, he can figure out how things work, he just never writes down how they work, so he always forgets.
Oh, right, okay, yeah, okay.
That's the vibe I get.
Yeah, scatterbrain. Yes, okay, yeah, I like that. So every time he wants to figure out how he did something, he doesn't have a note of it, he just has to try and remember or figure it out again.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
And because we're doing beasts, we're giving each different kind of beast or character 2 features that kind of represent the things that being that animal grants them as an advantage.
Okay.
And well, I tend to give like 2 skills, and if there's like a relevant flaw, then I'll throw that in as well.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I don't think rats necessarily have a flaw. So, for example, Balthazar has a flaw, which is I think it is sensitive to moisture. So, like, or sensitive to dryness. Like, toads dry out, so it's a thing.
That's fair. Toads dry out. Oh.
I mean, they do.
Yeah, I suppose rats aren't necessarily like, they're not nocturnal. They're not like. They don't have overwhelming urges to do one specific thing. Yeah, I think that's fair. Like, they're not like blood hungry. They're ravenous.
Destroy. So what are features that rats have that make them especially ratty? Because we haven't had a rat character.
Do you think he has can he use his tail for things, like a dexterous tail?
Yes, let's say dexterous tail.
So like, I imagine he'd be like,
so it can't grab things, but it helps with your balance, it helps with your movement and stuff like that. Yeah, it can be used for general kind of like sweeping things. Yeah. Or maybe it's uncontrollable tail. Maybe it's uncontrollable. Well, uncontrollable is like the tail's a mind of its own.
That is true. Yeah, it's not quite sentient. So like the component pouch, like hoarder of some sort. So do you think he just has like a small bag of like little trinkets and nuts and bolts and
that's what we'll get to when we get to your standard gear, which is after your skills. So skills are things that you can do, tools are things you use.
Right, got it.
So the second, what makes a rat a rat? Do you think rats have really good smell, don't they?
I think so. Yes. I feel like can rats
a good sense of smell?
Oh, that's a much better question. I just said, can rats smell good?
Oh my god! Could you imagine someone in a lab just sniffing the rats like, 6 out of 10.
Can the rats smell good?
Rats rank pretty high in terms of olfactory abilities. In fact, Harvard research shows that rats are highly sensitive to smells, and some species have even been trained to detect odors specific to landmines and tuberculosis.
Hey, I'm just saying, but that's the same result I got from typing in "can rats smell good?" So English, you don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same number one result.
You're demonstrating peak efficiency with your words.
See, minimal words. That's it. That's definitely what I was going for, Brian. Yes.
So, dexterous tail and a good nose.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we get onto your standard gear. So,
Okay.
I'm going to say component pouch is too generic.
Yes.
Bits and
Do you think
bobs.
he just has like bag of fixings? Perhaps bag of fixings.
I think, yeah, we get the vibe. So
Yeah.
basically, a tool is a, within reason, limitless resource. So for example, if you would have chalk, you wouldn't have 5 sticks of chalk. You can keep using the tool, and if you suggest something that would use up the tool or would start to diminish its usefulness, I, as the narrator, would warn you. So for example, in the interlude that you've watched, Greer uses their rope to stop a trap from hurting them. But I say that to do that, the whole of the rope is used to like tie the trap, and you tie the rope in one place, then you can't take it with you. You lose that tool.
Okay, I like that.
So you've got like a bag of fixings. So it might be that if you want to use your bag of fixings to plug a gap in a wall, you can get out like an iron wedge and you stick it in and you still have your bag of fixings. But if you want to fix an entire machine, I might say that's all of your fixings that you use up, all of your gears and your springs.
That makes sense. And I suppose it could be kind of refueled almost by like scavenging at some point if you come across something.
Yeah, so it might be that you go into a tool shed and I say you can scavenge for things. You can refill your bag of fixings.
Yeah, that sounds good.
You could carry a second bag of fixings. So your standard gear you can always carry. You're always able to lug this around. And then your carried items are things you can take with you in addition to that in your backpack. So carried items are things that fit in 1 or 2 hands. And pocket items are things that are small enough that you could fit multiple of them in 1 or 2 hands. So the best example I have of that is a single feather is a pocket item, but a pillow filled with feathers is a carried item.
Right, okay. Interesting. So that's like additional on top of the standard gear, yeah?
Yeah. And you can carry any number of pocket items within reason.
Right, okay.
So like 1 or 2 nuts or bolts is pocket items, but then eventually a sack of nuts and bolts becomes a carried item, so your bag of fixing.
Right, okay. Got it. Right. So these are things that you will add along the way as you kind of are adventuring, yeah? Okay, got it. Cool. So standard gear, bag of fixings, tool, weapon. So I don't know if it'd be a weapon or another tool, probably another tool. But I feel like he would have the downsized equivalent of like a screwdriver or a wrench or something. But I would like to think it's maybe like a paper clip that he's like unwired and can kind of wrap into any form that he really needs.
So maybe he's got bendy metal.
Yes. Like a kind of
I
like
don't
a
think it's
rat
a paper
multi-tool.
clip, but I think it's just a length of wire that he's able to make into different tools for different jobs.
Yes. I like that.
Because the Titans, as they're called, the humans, have mysteriously disappeared. We don't know where they've gone. I'm thinking they've been gone since before Beast memory. So if it was a paperclip, it would have been rusted by that point.
Yeah. True.
But I think he's got like some bendy metal. Lutzen's got some bendy metal from the orb eaters that he's able to like do around. And an example of the bendy metal being used up is you could do it to make this, but it's really giving and bending, and at one point it will just snap and it will lose its bend.
Because I like to imagine you could like bend a bit of metal into like a screw head and like use like
and
kind of go down on like and kind of use it with like both hands to turn it around, kind of.
Or make it into like a wrench and like wrap it around a cog and.
Yeah.
Actually, I think your weapon could be a wrench.
Yeah. Okay.
Because all weapons do the same damage. It's just something that's more violent, and you can still use it as a tool. If you don't want to have a weapon, you can have a 5th tool instead.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. So bag of fixings, bendy metal, and the wrench. So what else would he have? On the little drawing I've got like a little acorn backpack, but I don't know what the scale of that would be for a rat. I don't think that makes sense because acorns are usually quite small. And do you get acorns in No, I know exactly what it's going to be. It's not going to be an acorn. It's going to be a dried out like chestnut. You know, like the spiky chestnut.
Ooh.
Like the kind of chestnut backpack.
Yeah.
And then
it
like kind of cut in
jangles every
half.
time he moves because it's got all sorts of like random bits of metal in it.
Yeah. Yep. Yes. What are they called? Chestnut shell. Yep. Okay. I like that.
What kind of tools would he use? Maybe you've got coal.
Yeah, maybe just like a little coal pouch. I like that. Yeah, I feel like you'd have like a little, not quite a sack of it, but like a little compartment of it, and obviously you wouldn't need much to like burn for long. What else would he have? Well, we talked about like the iPhone lens as like a magnifying glass kind of thing.
Yeah.
Do we think he's taken the actual glass lens of that and fitted it into something else, or he's just kept like the kind of weird like back of the phone, like the whole like chunk?
I think maybe like he's got the three lenses, the tri-lens, and he can like use it for different things. Maybe that's how he starts the beetle up.
Oh, it's like solar power.
Because he uses the lenses to like start the coal.
Yeah, I quite like that. I feel like he would almost. I feel like the tri-lens thing, or even like a dual lens from a phone, would be a bit cumbersome for them to use. So I feel you could probably take the glass out. So maybe he has like a assortment of like lenses, of like two or three lenses. So you can use it for magnifying.
Lenses phones will have in the future. Let's just say that he has as many as future lenses. It could be 5 lenses.
Yeah, I mean, in my head, I'm picturing like 2 or 3 at most. You'd have like a wide-angle lens and just a regular one, and maybe like another one for like the zoom kind of thing. Because then with that, you could like. I feel he doesn't understand it, but he's like, okay, so if I move these, I can make it stronger. You know, he doesn't really get the science, but he knows he can like set fire to something.
Yeah.
Or
well, I think maybe they have lenses because there are glasses in this world, so they understand how lenses work. But these are especially good lenses that are scratch resistant.
They're like prime. Prime lenses. Okay, I like that.
So, what does he have for his packed lunch? What does he like to eat?
That's a good question. What do rats eat? Rats, well, obviously like cheese, but that feels like a problematic food.
Oh yeah. Well, you can make vegan cheeses.
That is true. Oh my god, what if he was a little vegan like cashew nut cheese rat?
Cashew cheese. I don't think they have cashews in Scotland.
Yeah, I don't think they do because they're a bit of a pain to grow. What do rats eat?
Oat milk cheese. Do they have
oat milk cheese? I think it needs to be like a more like almond or like.
Well, they don't have almonds in. Almonds would have to be specially imported in from the continent, from far across the sea. But they do apparently. Applewood, it's a brand that does smoky vegan cheese made from oat milk. I'm guessing
from oat milk. Wow, interesting. I don't think oats would have enough like fatty substance to them.
Ingredients: water, coconut oil, potato starch, maize, yeast.
Most vegan cheeses are made of coconut oil, which is quite interesting.
Which makes sense.
It's quite cool
because it's an emulsifier. It's got all that.
Yes. So in the wild, rats tend to eat things like fruit, plants, and seeds, but are more likely to be vegetarian. However, city rats like to eat garbage and meat. Is he like a little garbage hunter? No, I don't think so.
Maybe it's because he seems to have a mix of everything, and maybe he's got trail mix. It's like some oats.
I think
it's got some nuts. It's got some fruit.
Kind of matches his kind of scatterbrain personality.
There's like a dried slug in there.
Oh god, no, that's vile. But yes. Like what? Yeah, I like that. A lot of trail mix.
I'm not going to say he has any money because he's from the Craftpaw Guild. So the beasts in Beast Fables don't use money. They barter for things. So we'll just leave that blank.
Would it be like he has things to barter with then?
We'll put some things in his carried items.
Okay.
Maybe. He also, this is what he has on him right now, but he's got like a trunk full of stuff back at his room at the Ben Branch.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So he's local to the big tree, right?
Well, he's got a room at the Ben Branch at Willowmoot, which is where he's set up. But he's currently, spoilers, lost in the woods.
Okay, yeah, he's currently MIA.
Yeah, and he's going to be found by Pipistrel, which is when you'll be joining the show.
Love. Okay, I like it. Interesting. Tremix. Okay, so what have we got left? Light source. I wonder if, because Balthazar has like a little like firefly, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if Lutzen would have some sort of like bioluminescent like a little bottle or like paste of some sort. Like some sort of like bioluminescent like slime or something. I don't know.
Bioluminescent moss, like a bioluminescent terrarium.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, he'll just like picked up at one time and be like, "This is nice. I like this." I like that.
I think maybe he'd been cultivating it for like months. And then realised one night that it was bioluminescent. He had no idea. He's like, I just like moss. And then,
oh my god! What if the little headlights for the beetle are just like little glass orbs filled with the bioluminescent moss?
That he transplanted over.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just imagining like the little beetle thing now has like racing stripes of bioluminescent moss along the side of it.
They weren't intentional. They kind of like haphazardly grown over it.
Yeah, it's like grown out, and he's like, well, it works.
Yeah.
It's like a bit. It's like it looks like it's much older than it is. Yeah, I love that. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like one of the bottles is cracked and it's grown out of the bottle.
Oh god. Yeah.
Of the headlight.
Yes. Yeah. I love it. Okay, so what else do we need for our little guy?
So I'm gonna give you some carried items.
Okay.
So what do you think he would have carried with him going into the woods? I think he would have a bag of grain.
Yep.
Let's say bag of oats. You've gone into the woods to find things to fix the beetle because it had been stolen. By some otters, you believe,
yes.
Who then kidnapped some coal tits and a squirrel, and you found them. They crashed. The otters crashed the beetle, and it's broken again. So you need to fix it again, and they're currently waiting for you at the beetle. So what did you need to fix the beetle?
I feel like some sort of like rope or elastic band as like the kind of gear chain. You know, like an elastic band.
Maybe you've got some vines.
Yes, some vines, some sort of
ivy. You've got stripped ivy. That you're going to braid into some rope and then
or like
to make a new
rope
drive band or something.
What else would you need to fix a beetle? What's the scale of how big is Lutzen compared to like Pipistrel? What do you think? Because otters are quite big. So how big is the beetle?
Well, Pipistrel is, I'd say, on the same size as Lutzen, because Pipistrel specifically as bats are quite small.
Yes, and I think rats are quite dinky too.
Yeah, so I think mass-wise, Pipistrel is the same sort of like height, but obviously has the wingspan, but it's thinner. Whereas you're chunkier because you're a rat. So you've got the same like mass, but the mass is in different places.
Yes, I'm going to draw Pipistrel.
So I feel like Pipistrel has got like less chunky legs because a lot of the weight goes into the wings instead and the arms.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're like little thin legs, aren't they? Okay. This is my little temporary Pipistrel. Okay, yeah.
Is there anything else you think he'd have?
I don't know. I'm really trying to think of like what would be useful for him to have.
I'm going to give you a pocket item, which is your Craftpaw seal, which is a brass gear with like engraved letters on the outside, and that's your insignia as being part of the Craftpaw Guild.
Okay, yeah. I like that. I imagine it's got some charm marks on it. It's not quite whole. It's a bit cracked or something.
Oh no, you use it as your keychain.
Oh.
So you've got all sorts of things you don't want to lose tied to it.
Oh, okay, yeah. Wait, how does it? Oh, it's like an actual metal gear that like sits on his. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I think maybe one of the teeth have broken off because it's mostly decorative, but you have used it at some point as a gear in an experiment.
Oh god, yeah, absolutely. Imagine it's more of like one of those kind of like skinny ones. I can't draw gears for shit, but here we are. Okay, yeah. I like that. Yes, it's like a little keychain.
And it's got like writing along like the spokes and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, there's like things hanging off it and like keys or whatever.
Oh, I'm gonna give you another card item. It's your goggles.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And don't forget his Bradley Winnie hat.
I'll keep that as part of the aesthetic.
Okay. Yeah, I want to give him like the little like button dungarees, like the dungarees are strapped together with the button on the front, but like tied into the buttonhole.
Oh, that's so cute.
I think it's quite cute. Yeah.
And it's like an old pewter button.
Yeah.
It's kind of a chest plate as well at that size. Well, I think that's the whole character then. I was going to say, like, with the button, it's almost like it's a chest plate.
Oh my god. It's button chest plate. I mean, it probably is better for it to be slightly blast resistant for him. Or maybe maybe it should be more like on the back then. And like that's where the...
Well, you've got your backpack there.
But like the bag would attach onto it. Like we could like hook over it or something, I don't know.
Maybe you've just got two buttons.
Yeah. Either or, really. Okay, I like that. Stripped ivy, bag of oats. I'm trying to think if there's any other like equipment for fixing this beetle. Maybe some metal plates or something. I don't know for any like dent bits, or would he care?
We don't have to fill up all 6 slots that you've got.
Yeah.
But I'll say you have an oil can to oil the beetle as well. And that's for polishing and greasing and lubricating and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think he'd be too fussed about it. Yeah, I don't think he'd be too fussed about it being like visually dented or anything. As long as it moves and works, and it's like it's not for the aesthetic, it's for science.
I think that he does enjoy the oily, slick look of it, though.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's
like it's deep black and it's got like beetle shape, and he's like, oh, it's a beetle. But to review, Lutzen Ten Whiskers is resourceful, healthy, and charismatic. His first job as an apprentice engineer taught him how to scavenge, how to be a structural engineer, and to engineer structures and pulleys and systems and stuff like that. And he also cultivated a love of beetles as well. He is he has a natural curiosity, but he also is a little unfiltered in how he talks to people. He learnt to be a journeyman and was swiftly kicked out of the main chapter house of the Craftpaws to go be a nuisance somewhere else. But as he was learning to be a journeyman, he learned how to spontaneously put things together, to shape metal as he needed it to be, and he cultivated an eye for detail. He is really good at coming up with outlandish solutions that shouldn't work but do, but he is a bit scatterbrained and can barely remember what he did last time, let alone make notes as to any of his inventions. As a rat, he has a very dexterous tail, which helps him balance and maneuver himself, and he has a good nose for smelling out things. His standard gear includes a bag of fixings, which is just a bag of any old bits and bobs he needs for mechanically doing things. He's got a piece of bendy metal, which he uses as a multi-tool. He has a pouch of coal for burning, and he has assorted lenses procured from some kind of ancient Titan device, which are very, very tough, and he uses for lenses and stuff. He has a wrench, a big metal wrench, a bag of trail mix that he eats, and he can see in the dark using his bioluminescent terrarium.
Yes.
He keeps all of this in a chestnut backpack.
Yeah.
Like either strapped to the side or inside.
Yeah.
He also has a bag of oats in his backpack. He has stripped some ivy, and I guess he's like wrapped that around him like a belt. He has a pair of goggles that protects him when he's whizzing along in the beetle, and an oil can for lubricating the beetle. And in his pocket, he's got a Craftpaw seal, which is his sign that he's part of the Craftpaw Guild.
Yeah, that's him. It's the boy.
Fantastic.
There he is. I love it. I feel he's kind of like a combination of like Mr. Toad from Wind in the Willows and Milo Thatch from Atlantis.
Yeah.
I don't know why. That's just the vibes I'm getting from him.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
I think that's all we were going to do today, really.
Yeah. I'm going to work on some doodles, a bit more of him, and kind of develop him a little bit more for a little artwork of some sort.
Yes. I love all artwork of Beast Fables. I think it's really fun. Especially seeing all the cool stuff. Playing on Wednesday with Ver for the final interlude, part 3. And Ver's done some really sick art of Greer again. I'm just like, very excited.
When do they never make sick art, honestly? It's always a true pleasure.
Honestly, I'm always surprised by how nice all of the artwork from Ver and from Atlanta, and soon to be you as well, comes out. It's a fun little world with these animals that are so cool and dumb.
So
and it's
cute.
great.
It's so cute. Yeah. I love it. Yeah, no, I'm very excited for this.
Yeah. So I hope everyone tunes in on Wednesday, 12:30 p.m. British summertime. Not for long though. It's more like British autumn time.
Yeah. We've had our 3 days of summer.
Yeah. Well, that was back in May. We had the week of really nice, warm, sunny weather, and then it was like, okay, now for rain and wind.
Yes. Summer is over. But I do love the autumn.
Ready for lots of layers. Yeah, I hope everyone tunes in. Yeah, I've been Brian. I use he, him pronouns. I run Dungeons on a Dime. I have been joined today by Fraser. Please say who you are again, if people have forgotten.
Sure thing. I am Fraser. I go by he, him pronouns also, and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at _LostAstronaut or _ _LostAstronaut on Twitter. Very frustratingly. I am an illustrator, designer, and freelancer extraordinaire for the masses. I don't know. I've worked with Brian on Dungeons on a Dime as well, and many other things. And yeah, I love playing RPG games, and I'm very excited to play this one and guest on this.
It's gonna be so fun, honestly.
It's gonna be really good. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm absolutely giddy with excitement. Okay.
Ooh, gonna be breaking out those rat voices. Anyway, for now, we're gonna say goodbye. Thanks for joining us on this little bonus episode, and I hope you guys have a chill week. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.